Greetings and salutations and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by, and we're in a neat little order here.
Oh, yes, God, never in the right order.
We didn't do that on purpose.
Robbie PodUK Bellekom, Sam PodUK Burns, and Ellie Sparrow.
That's the con that we're at. PodUK
Yes.
con. Yeah.
PodUK
Nailed
2020. Yes, welcome to the PodUK special 2020. Woo! This is a cheerfully titled episode, Celestia's Drunken Bender. So we'll get through these fairly quickly. A couple of quick notes. Obviously, you may have guessed from the name, this episode will contain a certain amount of alcohol consumption on the part of the characters, but not the players, because we didn't remember to bring any. This will...
The mead!
Yes.
There's mead somewhere!
Later.
This episode also takes place smack in the middle of episode 80. So for those of you who are up to date with the podcast, you don't need to be up to date for this to make sense.
It's fine.
Obviously, the characters don't really comment on the events of this, so bit of spoiler, but also a note, there will be some mild fantastical memory loss. Everyone will be safe and fine. So just so that you are aware, because I need to smooth over the fact that none of us remember what happened here.
It's literally for canon reasons.
For canon reasons, but it does take place in the canon. Okay, so first of all, hello everyone. Any quick announcements to make?
Hi.
We're at a PodCon.
Yay! Yeah.
We're joined by
Live.
all of these lovely stowaways. Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
thank you.
for coming.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you
for
for anyone
listening
who's
in the
just wandered
future.
in randomly.
Yeah,
Yes,
welcome.
thank you for joining
Hello.
us.
Welcome
Seriously,
to
hello.
all you fine
Welcome
people.
to the madness.
Yes.
We hope
Yeah.
you enjoy.
And very quickly, before we begin, it's that time for us to ask future us any messages from the present.
Oh, wow.
Joke for long-standing listeners there. I don't know if I'll cut in with anything. All right, then.
Probably not.
So, with that in mind, let us begin Flintlocks and Fireballs.
Sing along by all means if you know it.
Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
These are a powder keg.
Brother chains, brother, no one's free.
A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you for singing.
It is
Very nice, thank you.
the 8th of full bloom in the year of the Regent, 1798. The Sulian Revolution is winding down as the National Assembly has successfully reconciled the fractious elements of the entrenched aristocracy and the radical revolutionaries with a somewhat functioning constitutional monarchy and an elected representative government. There is still a war on with foreign powers to restore the old regime, but the civil war for now is at an end, thanks in no small part to the efforts of 3 privateers, Celestia Stardust, Corzin Horhace, and Scamp. These 3 privateers have just salvaged a hoard of treasure from an ancient ruin and sold it to a pair of art collectors here in the capital of Alessant, shipwright Oscar Schwartz and perfumier Gunther the Friendly Orc. But they won't be able to return to the port of Delay to examine work on their new ship, the Kraken's Bane, until the morning. So tonight, they've decided to have a few drinks. Several drinks, in fact. Indeed, by the time we join our trio, it is approaching midnight, and at least one of them is stumbling towards the 3rd pub of the evening. So would you like, and I think we'll just go in order, going away from me, to please describe yourselves and name your character, what you're wearing, and your current level of inebriation.
Also pronouns, please,
And
because there are new
pronouns
people here.
as well, please.
So, you see Scamp. They are a non-binary tiefling, child, and sober. bright pink skin, like ram's horns, silver hair, like magenta eyes, goat hooves. I know the word, not feet. Goat don't have feet. That'd be weird. Goat hooves.
God.
Yeah. Accompanied by a monkey, Jeffrey. Jeffrey uses he, him pronouns. Scamp uses they, them. Scamp is wearing just like white shirts, little blue waistcoat. Yeah.
Much like on this
Like the
handy
little crochet one
crochet
here.
plushie there.
Oh.
Yes. All right. Corzin.
Okay, Corzin Horhace is a short, even for a halfling man. He is wearing a rather battered tricorn that has seen probably better decades. He has an off-white puffy shirt with a brown waistcoat and brown breeches that are cut off with boots. I know this is sort of redundant for anyone in the room right now, but this will be going out in an audio-only medium at some point.
Sounds
Sam
like
is
full cosplay,
dressed-
so it's
yeah.
funny.
Corzin uses he, him pronouns, and he's currently a little bit tipsy.
Okay. And Celestia.
So, Celestia Stardust, for a start, uses she, her pronouns, before I forget. She is currently wearing, God, she has so many outfits. What the hell is she wearing? Well, let's start with the basics. She's a 6'4" drow, made even taller by a big old dandelion of white hair, basically. Lots of jewellery, a big old bandana that's keeping the dandelion hair out of her face, a purple bandana. I'm going to say at the moment she's wearing her dragon skin coat, long silver dragon skin coat, purple skin tight David Bowie style dungarees, if you've seen the sort of red dungarees set up. That, but purple is basically what we're talking. She is also covered in instruments. There is an electric guitar in the shape of a lightning bolt, which isn't in period at all for reasons that I'm not even going to begin to go into. An ophicleide, which is like a saxophone but massive, a xylophone and a drum, and thigh-high dragon skin boots to match the coat. I think that about covers it, really. Yeah.
Okay. As you are stumbling up to your next planned location,
Oh, she's
you
also
are-
extremely drunk. You asked
Oh,
us
yeah.
to specify. Yeah.
You are interrupted by a cheerful fellow, halfling with a messenger bag, who does indeed seem to be a messenger. Hello? Delivery for Celestia Stardust?
I'll take it.
Delivery. It's my delivery.
Yes, but you are not allowed things right now.
I love things. Give me the things.
He
You nearly
pulls
put your
out-
foot through the drum 5 minutes ago. I will take the delivery.
He
It
pulls
needed
out
a kick.
Look.
a small package labelled to Celestia Stardust with a return address to one Elizabetta Underhill of Crosswater. And seeing that you're a bit out of it, just calmly stuffs it into your pack for later.
I'll look at it another day. It's blurry now.
There is
never
one
mind.
other thing to mention with these descriptions, as there are two other figures with them after a fashion, but only two members of the party can see them. Accompanying Celestia, which only Celestia and Corzin can see, is the Pride Spirit. It is almost like a long, wispy rainbow that flickers after her, sometimes giggling to those who can see and hear it, but only some people have spirit sight. Around Corzin, there are a few different spirits. Most prominent is a large octopus, which follows after him, occasionally shrugging ambivalently at events, but also a little shoal of silver fish, a distinctive fish's eye, and a few other maritime spirits as well, that are the sources of their magic.
Whoa.
Now, the third tavern you have visited tonight on your impromptu pub crawl, you approach a dive unfamiliar to you, one of scores of pubs in the city of Alisont that you have never been in. Belying the cheerfully painted, if slightly peeling, cockerel wearing a fancy and jaunty crown depicted on the board outside, the cock in the crown is a two-story, yes, I know, tumble-down bar a few streets from the Grand Bâtard, the Great Bastard, castle, frequented by hard-drinking drovers and labourers, although by this time of the night, much of the general hustle and bustle has calmed down to the regulars, muttering and bickering over their pints. As you enter, it is a wide-open tap room and a bar that bears all the marks and scratches of many a fracas or even a ruckus, as the newspapers might say. And the window shutters look to have been recently replaced with cheap timber. In fact, cheap is the watchword of the day here. From the cheap furniture, again recently replaced, to the cheap clay tankards that the cheap watery ale is served in, to the cheap and reedy voice of the minstrel in the corner, singing a song about hurling coins at witches. It's catchy, but soon becomes irritable. As the three of you enter, a number of heads turn your way. Given your distinctive appearances, you definitely draw focus. One person mutters, "Suckers is in town, I see," but their friend nudges them in the ribs with an elbow.
I am a circus, you bastard. A whole circus all on my own.
Please, just
They move
you want
to
some?
get up,
yeah,
yep.
it's fine. Just
Their friend pushes them down.
I was going to say play it cool, but honestly,
I'm always cool.
you've never been cool. None of us have ever been cool.
So
Most
cool.
of the patrons turn back to their drinks, especially after seeing Corzin's 2 sabres, 2 pistols, and the blunderbuss and carbine slung across his back. You see that there is a human woman at the bar, bushy auburn eyebrows and short-cut reddish hair. She's got a hard-wearing apron, woolen dress, and is scrubbing a mug as you come in. Yeah, she looks up. "What do you have to drink?"
A big whiskey, please. Big one. Yeah.
Milk, please.
Fine. Whiskey, milk. You?
do you have any dark rum?
Sure, of course. She charges you a couple of silver and pours out your drinks. The minstrel in the corner begins changing his tune. He's a half-orc, grey-green skin, yellow eyes, prominent tusks, colourful blue cotton long coat over pantaloons and a white cotton shirt with colourful frills. As he starts playing on his guitar, it's not too bad until he starts singing.
Ooh.
It's like, I throw some change
No,
at some witches.
Copyright. We're gonna,
Avoid copyright
Right, we're
infringement.
Corzin, can you cast silence? I hate it.
no magic.
That'd be a bit wasteful,
Why?
wouldn't it?
Because we're trying to be like calm and casual and
Overhearing
not start a
your,
fight.
overhearing your wording, the orc calls down. "Oh yeah, perhaps you wanted to have a go."
No,
Yeah, I'm
no.
like way better than you.
No,
You
she
should
d-
let me play.
Oh yeah.
Look at this guitar. Have you ever seen anything like this? It's fucking magic and shit.
Looks down at his guitar. Oh, you're
where we
starting
bloody
then,
go.
are you?
No.
Yeah, I'm starting. What
No,
am I
no,
starting?
Celestia, it's not
I'm
worth
starting. Yeah, I'm gonna
Puffs
start.
up his chest.
Yeah, I'm gonna puff it up back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll an intimidation.
This is a disadvantage because like this doesn't
Yes,
feel
yeah,
intimidating.
yeah.
Like, come on.
Also for the alcohol.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think the alcohol technically gives you advantage
Yeah.
on charisma checks at the level of
Oh, cool.
inebriation
So
you're at.
it's actually. What are we doing? Are we doing a
Just
straight?
do it as a straight roll. Do it as a
Cool,
straight
I'll
roll.
roll again. That is actually hilariously good. That's a 24. So I'm terrifying.
As that happens, the orc kind of backs down to the
Come at me.
Don't. Please
Okay,
don't.
I guess this stage is yours then.
Yeah.
Awkwardly
yeah,
leads off to one side.
If there's a
Yeah, do
stage
you wanna-
here, that means it's mine. I play some songs.
Start playing
if
up a
anyone
jaunty
lets
tune.
me.
She goes up there, we're never getting her back.
That's us for the evening.
As the pair,
Let's get on it. Yeah.
as you are making your way up, Celestia, a heavily drunken drover, human woman, neck-length, dirty blonde hair, quite muscly in the upper body, wearing a travel-stained woolen shirt, coat and leggings, hard-wearing boots. So he gets up. It's actually the same one who called you being from the circus, and starts stumbling towards the bar. But she's weaving very unsteadily. So I'd like everyone to make a dexterity check, please.
Oh no.
to avoid her just bouncing into you.
Roll the new dice.
We've got some lucky
Yes!
dice from Stowaways today.
That's a 21.
This
I am not
disadvantage because I'm drunk. Don't
Yes.
I?
Yes.
18.
Okay. That's That's not much. That's like a 9.
Yeah. The drover stumbles straight into you, actually tips over your calf and onto the ground, sort of catches itself. Ugh! You foolish, clumsy sot!
I think you tripped over me, darling.
You tripped over me, you and that
both
short
on the way on the
ass
ground.
with you.
Bashed into me with your
says, pointing to
bashing
Corzin.
arms.
What?
So you tall, long one, and the short ass here, you're all in the
You're
way.
short ass.
Okay, I'm sure we can
Oh, you
sort
want
this.
some? You want some?
No,
Yes,
no,
I want
very
some.
much
I
not.
want lots.
Okay, I've just rolled a natural 20. Corzin has exploded the glass in his hands.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do. I'm gonna let you do one more intimidation roll if you want, or if you want, you can just start a fight here.
I don't think he's going to stand on ceremony. Oh, that's how it is it?
No,
Yeah, you
no,
want-
no,
you
it
wanna make
isn't.
something of it, short
Okay,
stuff.
Yeah, let's make
Okay,
the thing.
everyone
I
be
will-
calm.
I will teach you a lesson
Breathing.
in no
I've
gravity.
never been calm in my whole
Ah,
life.
she
No, that's
starts
it.
getting ready to throw a punch, and you watch as the rest of the bar starts standing up to join in. Everyone, roll me initiative, please.
Oh, shit.
What is wrong with you two?
Everything.
That's a 1.
11.
Do I go first? That's hilarious.
So that was 1 from Scamp. Was it 13 from Celestia?
Yeah.
Sit over there. You don't get to
13
play
and
with me
11
anymore.
from 11 from Corzin. Cool. Okay. So the first person to actually break out in this particular fight is the orc minstrel, who grabs a chair, seeing the opportunity, runs up and tries to smack you over the head with it.
Which person?
So this is the minstrel, the one you
who's
assaulted.
you
Sorry,
smacking?
my apologies. You, Celestia, because
Okay.
he has the most issue with you.
Fair.
And proceeds to roll. Get those out for me. Yeah, and that's actually a 17 to hit.
Does it hit? Yeah. Why am I asking if it hits? I'm a bard. It hits.
So, it's a pretty solid hit as well. You take 6 points of damage as he cracks it over your head.
Ow.
And so you who's terrible at singing.
You're terrible at singing. You've already shown that. This is redundant. You don't need to show anything else.
That's it, everybody! Let's drive this circus out of town! And the various drovers, of which there are about 6 of them, reach up and they all start trying to grab and punch you. And they are literally just
Ow.
punching at you with fists or trying to smack you with their tankards. So I'll do 2 attacks against each of you. So 2 against Celestia. 14 and another 17. Just the 14?
Yeah, both hit.
Both
Yeah.
hit you?
Oh
Okay.
no, hang on. Sorry, I've got my coat on. No, 14 doesn't hit.
Okay, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as one of them manages to sock you across the jaw.
Not the face.
2 more join in trying to get Corzin, and that is a dirty 20 and 21. So
Oh, boy.
as you're squaring up to face this drover, and one of them shouts, "Yeah, get him, Lucille!" who is apparently called Lucille. One grabs you from behind, pulls you to the side, and another lands 2 blows in your face. You take 6 points of damage, and just because they apparently fancy trying to beat up a child, does a 15 hit your armor class Scamp?
I probably haven't cast Mage Armor, so yes, it does.
Okay, one of
These
them
guys are
tries to
dicks.
swing at you, misses. The other, however, kicks you in the shin, and you for 3 points of damage.
I very nearly Hellish Rebuke, but don't, because it would full on kill this person.
Yes, this is thus far a non-lethal bar fight, and that makes it Corzin's go. No, sorry, Celestia's go.
God, I'm gonna bring the guitar over my head like it's a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And smack this stupid minstrel in the face and cast Shocking Grasp.
Nice.
'Cause
Okay.
Bugger it.
Roll attack.
So that is a 15.
15 definitely hits.
Yeah, it's 2d8 Shocking
Yeah, it's
Grasp.
just
isn't
a minstrel.
it? So that's 7 damage.
Okay, you smack him across the face, and the guitar bang, twangs and lets loose a flash of lightning as he is smacked backwards into a chair. He lands on his guitar, breaking it. Not into moneymaker.
You weren't going to make any money from that, darling. You're deluded.
Okay, that's anything else you want to do in your turn?
I'm then going to stand up, look all cocky, flick my hair, and a flash of rainbow comes out from the rainbow spirit, and I give Corzin inspiration because he's the first person I see in my head.
So, with that in mind, Corzin. So you've got one person grabbing you from behind. I'm going to say it's another halfling. One who's just a human who's just smacked you twice in the face, and the big drover Lucille is getting ready to square up against you.
Okay. I'm going to try and get to the drover. I'm going to pull out my belaying pin, for such I have, and I'm going to give him a whack up the happy sacks.
Oh, this got nasty.
Roll attack.
Short people play dirty, guys.
Yeah, okay, so that would be a 13 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
Okay.
It's the general public.
That's why the bladed weapons haven't come out.
Yeah, okay, that's going to be 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
He goes as you smack him in the nads. His eyes roll back and he.
You should have stuck to farming. Here's a couple of acres.
If you didn't have inspiration already, I would give you some. Okay, you get multiple attacks if you want. So
That's true. Okay, the halfling that was squaring up to me from behind, I'm going to turn around and just give a whack on the bonce.
go for it.
That's a 14 to hit.
14. Okay, that hits. Roll damage.
Another 7 bludgeoning.
And again, thwack across the temple. He goes out like a sack of potatoes. As you are doing this, the blood is beating in your ears, Corzin, just like that rush of a fight. And oddly, as if through the beating of that blood, you can hear the frantic bowing of a fiddle. In fact, all of you can hear this. It is, in fact, just like this.
We can hear the backing
You
music.
can hear the backing music.
Oh no, the fourth wall!
What are all these people doing here?
The fourth wall.
You can't see strange people watching you yet, but you can hear
Yes.
strange music.
Can we see anyone playing a fiddle?
No, not unless you've got your tiny kit violin out. No
I have
one's
not.
playing one. You're just hearing it from nowhere. Okay, so that means next up is actually Lucille, who goes. She looks over at the minstrel. Oh no, Steiner, no! I'll teach you art, and is going to punch down twice at Corzin. With okay, does a 14 hit you?
A 14 does not.
Okay, but a 19 does.
Yeah.
So picking up her tankard, she thwacks you. Just kind of goes for your face, misses, gets you in the shoulder for 8 points of
Missed. Oh!
That is Lucille's turn. As that's happening, though, as the smack happens, Corzin, your attention is driven to the side by the blow, and you glance down and you see there is a spilled pool of yellowish beer from the bar fight in progress, but the reflection doesn't match up to the tavern around you. Instead, you can see reflected in it the image of a forest of strange, spindly trees with oddly flat, diamond-shaped leaves, twisting and turning at unlikely angles. Scamp.
Can I see that?
Roll a perception check.
Probably not.
Is this like anything I've
no,
seen before?
7.
Not exactly. 7, no you don't.
Okay, how many people are still conscious and fighting us?
2 of the drovers are down. Steiner currently has a shiner. But otherwise everyone else is up. So there's 4 drovers plus Lucille plus Steiners. There's 6 people still.
Lovely. I will grab one of the silver skulls I have, and I will cast slow on the 6 people still up.
Okay, let me just quickly roll some saves.
It is a
Wisdom.
wisdom save. DC
Okay.
17.
Okay, 1 person makes it.
Can I bend some fate?
Yeah, if you want.
So I'm going to try and take 3 off whatever they rolled.
Okay, all of them are slowed.
Okay, should we just leave?
They start moving
we
as,
just
if,
leave?
as if in molasses. As you cast that, Scamp, something changes in the quality of the light in the room. As if the candles illuminating this chamber are suddenly burning with a harsher light. The shadows deepen, the colours become starker and more saturated. Edges start to become more defined. And you can feel a strange pressure building in the air around you.
Does anybody else's head suddenly hurt?
Yeah.
Also, is anyone playing this fiddle?
No.
Not
Anyone?
See.
Where's Jeffrey?
Did you forget Jeffrey?
I didn't forget Jeffrey.
Jeffrey is currently in your pack and acts on your turn. So
Okay.
if you want Jeffrey to
No.
take any actions, nope.
Jeffrey will murder people.
Good. Yeah, Jeffrey, this 1 foot tall monkey in a grass skirt has already drawn the jeweled blade he has, which he stole from
Jeffrey,
a
no.
pirate.
Jeffrey, stay.
So top of the round, it's Steiner with the Shiner. Steiner is going to pick up the broken remnants of his own of his own loot and slowly is going to try and smack Celestia with it.
Fair enough at this
Slow
point,
effect.
honestly.
Is it disadvantage or is
No,
it
it
just one
doesn't,
attack?
doesn't affect his attacks,
Cool.
except there's only one.
Okay, so well,
No reactions, so we could just leave.
oh, it's a
Not had-
natural
not had an
2.
action yet.
It's just like yes, like fighting through molasses. You're easily able to
I like
duck
dodge
out
really
of the way.
slowly. Yeah, fucking not very fast.
The drovers, meanwhile, the 2 that are left, I think the 2 on Corzin are gone. So there's 2 who are going to try and sucker punch Celestia. Both. Oh no! One of whom gets a dirty 20. Although they're kind of moving slowly, they speed up at the last moment, Celestia, and they actually manage. One of them grabs you, and the other punches you so hard, unexpectedly hard, that you find yourself flying backwards into the wall. You take 3 points of damage, but as you hit the wall, you feel the wall shatter behind you. But it doesn't shatter like cracking timber and plaster. It shatters like glass. And the simple plaster wall fractures and falls away, exposing an incongruous and brilliant landscape beyond. A forest filled with pastel blue-green trees with flat diamond-like leaves of purple glass, trunks twisted and curled in bizarre manners beneath a brightly lit cerulean sky. What you can see of the forest floor is covered in broken shards of purple glass leaf. But the more immediate draw is the nightmare creature at its center. As Celestia crashes through reality itself into the scene beyond, a long, prehensile tentacle snaps up to grab her. Wrapped in purple and green mottled scales that gleam like fine jewels, with a bristling sticky pad at the end. The tendril is but one of 4 that connect to a thick, trunk-like body rising out of a pool of faintly rainbow-sheened water.
Why is there a baby cracking in the pub? Help!
There is a
What?
huge central maw ringed with teeth that shine like prisms catching the light. Dripping with the same rainbow-tinted water, and around that ring of teeth there is a ring of glowing violet cat's eyes. The creature opens its mouth wider in what should be a roar, but instead the music grows louder and changes. The nightmare gets 1 attack against Celestia to try and grab them.
Dear.
Yes?
No, I just said, oh dear. Please
Oh dear,
carry
I thought
on.
you said DM.
No,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Just
worrying. Do carry on. with what
Oh
you're
yes, no,
doing.
absolutely. So that is a 19 to grab
Of
you.
course it hits, yes.
Yeah, the tentacle grabs and wraps around you, ensnaring you in place, holding you above the maw. You immediately take, oh dear, 1 point of piercing damage and 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay,
So 12 total.
12.
And you are now grappled and restrained by the tendril.
I like to think that it hangs her drunkenly upside down and the coat goes over her head. Like, it's really undignified.
Does Corzin see this?
Oh yeah, Everyone sees this.
Even just like the normal people in the pub.
Yeah, they have no idea what the fuck is going on. They start screaming, and it's actually
fair.
the Nightmare's turn now in the initiative order. So the Nightmare will take 4 attacks. It's got 3 free tendrils, so 1 attack against Corzin. That is a 24.
Oh, that'll hit. Yeah.
You are
Just a bit.
snatched up and grappled by the tendril. You take a total of 10 points of damage. A second attack goes against Scamp. That is a 17.
Yeah, that'll hit.
You are also ensnared by the tentacle, taking 9 points of damage as you are pulled up. And finally, it grabs hold of Steiner
Oh
and
no.
pulls
Oh,
him
poor Steiner.
also up. Ah, what the fuck?
Fair.
However, because it already has one creature in a tentacle, Celestia, it is going to bring you towards that many-toothed mouth. So it makes an
Oh,
attack
dear.
against you. Okay, that is a 15.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you struggle, you fight against it.
Do I have my reaction back? Do I get it back at the beginning or the end of my turn?
At the beginning of your
It's
turn.
beginning, so no. I used it on my turn.
Use it on your turn. No, you don't have it yet. Then, so the bite, so it drags you towards the circular, many-toothed mouth and bites down at you. So you take actually only 5 points of damage. It rolled poorly.
Good.
But I need you to make a Constitution save, please.
Oh, my favourite thing.
That thing you're notably good at.
Drop that. Hang on. Well, that's not actually terrible for me. Sorry, I'm panicking because I'm on stage. That's a 17.
17. Okay, you avoid. Some of the rainbow-coloured water gets in through the wound, but you avoid the worst of the strange disorientation that seems to come with it. You are not poisoned, but something is happening to you. You're not quite sure what.
Something. Great.
Just something.
Just something. Something
dear.
strange.
Everything's fine.
Celestia.
feel
Actually,
weird.
no. The drovers have acted. So Celestia.
Oh, God. So I'm in a tentacle heading for a mouth, yeah? We're going to start whacking out
A
the
mouth
level
which is
4
playing
spells.
this music.
So they're just going to look at the situation and go, yeah, no, this is disgusting. Let go of me, you big tentacly fuck. And cast Dissonant Whispers at level 4.
Okay.
That's the Dissonant Whisper. So that's a Wisdom save.
That is a big fat failure.
Way!
Roll damage.
So
and-
many d6s.
Okay, normally it would cause it to retreat its full movement. It actually has a movement of 0 and crazy stupid reach, so I will say instead it flings you onto the side, in disgust, away onto the side of this bank.
Excellent.
As you hit the ground, purple glass leaves crunch beneath you into a fine powder.
Glass trees, so cool. So 8 plus, that is 13, 15. 15
Okay,
damage for
15
that.
points of damage, noted.
Yes.
All right, and you are anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Yeah, as I hit the wall,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like, as I hit whatever.
You
I,
hit
like,
the ground.
I hit the ground and like strike a pose, and again the rainbow spirit flares up. There's a flash of rainbow, and you will get 11 temporary hit points, and you can move if you would like to. That is the
don't think
ability
we
Mantle
can.
of Inspiration. If anybody is a D&D person and interested, but
Yes.
it's up to you.
You are all... Yeah, the rest of you are... But the other pair of you are grappled. So, does that apply to anyone who wants to move within the area? I mean, how generous are you feeling towards the random civilians?
Steiner can have a move if he fancies
Oh no,
it.
Steiner's
Steiner's dead. Okay.
Steiner is wrapped in tentacle right now.
Okay. Yeah. Any random civilians I can
Oh
get.
yeah,
Anyone within 60
the
feet.
drovers, Lucille, the barmaid, all just fucking run for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
They get out of this crazy situation.
That seems entirely reasonable.
Yeah.
And that's me done. So do go for it. Somebody else.
Corzin.
All right. Does this look at all like a certain sea-dwelling entity he has history with.
No, this is literally a creature of nightmares. There's a superficial resemblance, but it does not resemble the Kraken in so much as it has tentacles and a mouth. It doesn't actually. The eyes are different. It has hundreds of eyes ringed around the mouth.
Okay,
teeth are
cancelling the Kill
completely
Bill
different.
sirens then.
Thanks, I hate
Yep.
it.
And he's grappled like the rest.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You are grappled and restrained. You cannot currently move,
right.
unless you free yourself by some means, or someone else frees you.
Is it possible to light a bomb and throw it into its maw?
It is absolutely possible
Yes,
to
do
do that.
That's
that.
exactly
Yes.
what he's going to do.
Make it's a dex roll for it, isn't it? If you do that.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
still have inspiration.
It's very true.
Dex. That is 13, which I think is enough.
Just a save.
Yeah. So it'll take half damage, but roll the damage anyway.
Okay.
You light the bomb, toss it down. It just manages to close the maw in time
That's 14 fire
to
damage.
prevent it going in. So, but it explodes on the outside of it, splintering the mottled scales. Still takes 7 damage. So you've done 22 total. Okay. Anything else you want to do in your turn, Corzin? You
Yeah.
have other your attack. You have
As a
second
bonus
attack.
action, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
Good, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
As the fisheye spirit focuses down on it, you feel your attention narrow.
And use my extra attack to try and unsheath one of my blades.
Oh,
into-
you're not prevented from unsheathing a blade when you're restrained. You just can't move from your position.
Yeah, no, I'm just
So
going to
you
try and.
unsheath it, and you can make an attack with it.
Yes,
Go for
that is what I shall do.
it. Which blade are you using?
I am going to be using Riptide for this one. So
You
that's
draw-
an 18 to hit.
Excellent. You draw your adamantine saber with its notched wave pattern and slice down into it. Roll damage.
Okay. That's 7 slashing damage.
Okay.
Don't forget your hunter's mark.
No, I haven't forgotten the Hunter's Mark. Doing one at a
You
time.
haven't now.
Okay, that's a further 6.
Okay, so 13 total. Correct. Okay, that brings it to 35 damage to this thing. But you slash into it. I'm going to say that you actually cut off the tentacle that was. Well, you don't cut off into it, but you seriously cut into the tentacle holding you, and it sort of starts thrashing wildly as it reacts to you. And as this is as that is happening, readying its tentacles for another attack, there's a twang and a crack as an arrow tipped in gleaming crystal strikes its side, driving deep into its flesh, and the creature lets loose a burst of glittering silvery blood. The same blood has been releasing as you've been slicing into it. You look up, and on the far side of this clearing of trees, a small figure draws a second arrow to her bow. A gnome with violet eyes and a head shaved on one side and tattooed on the scalp with patterns in iridescent ink, while the other side, the hair is tied back in a silvery pigtail. The lower part of her face, from her nose down, is covered with a leather face guard, and every inch of her body from the neck down is covered in dirty, scratched, earth-coloured armour and a travel-stained leather duster, decorated with small, colourful beads tied close to the leather to avoid rattling. But you recognise this gnome, and judging from her raised eyebrows, she seems to be as surprised to see you as you are her.
You've a hell of a sense of timing!
Sorry, Corzin? What the fuck are you doing here?
Vera, is this your fault?
Hi.
Shut up and fight this thing! She
Right.
Fine, we'll
looses
talk later.
Another arrow, that one hits, and she does that much damage to it. Okay, so another arrow, this time not crystalline, rams into it and splinters silvery blood. That brings us to Scamp's go.
Okay, can I reach Corzin at all? Are we close enough to touch?
Dexterity check, because there's a lot of waving around with the tentacles to see if you can
another
grab
nice.
hold of.
19.
Yes, I'll say that during the writhing,
These are
there's a moment where you get
going
close enough that you can reach out and grab him.
Okay, I will cast not on Corzin, shocking grasp. I will quicken it, so it's a bonus
Okay.
action. That is, I don't know which one to roll. Lots to hit, 22.
Okay, that hits. Roll damage. The crackle lightning passes down your forearm and into the
8 points of lightning
creature.
damage, and I will grab Corzin by the hand and dimension door out of the grasp of this creature.
Where to? Because as you're doing this, you can see the hole in reality starting to splinter back into place.
Where is Celestia in relation to the hole in reality?
On the far side of the pool of water with the monster
I
in
will
it.
go where Celestia is.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not leave her here.
Okay, so 8 points of damage. Cool, keeping track of that.
So,
Okay.
teleport out of the way.
The pair of you seem to just blink out of existence, reappearing as the nightmare creature is confused by the sudden absence of its prey. Okay, top of the round, Steiner is going to try and escape. He is one lucky.
Oh, I forgot him. I
minstrel.
feel bad.
He manages to wriggle free and leap and hurls himself through the gap in reality just as it seals closed. The bar now gone from your view. That brings us to the Nightmare's turn. Nightmare is going to quickly take 4 attacks against each of you. And misses Corzin and Vera, manages to get a hit in on Celestia and Scamp. So Scamp, you take 12 points of damage and are grappled as you are pulled back into its
Hellish
maw.
rebuke.
Yes.
Roll damage.
Yes. I'm just gonna shout, "Ow!" and fire happens.
How much fire?
15 fire.
And before it can grab hold of Celestia, flames run down the whole of its body, and the creature lets out a last crescendo of music before crumbling. I need you to make me a dexterity save, please.
Oh no.
As the music
I'm gonna use the
lessens.
Tides of Chaos
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
to
It
get
Is
advantage
active.
on the roll. It's still not very good. 14.
Okay, you land on the edge, but your foot splashes a little bit of the water, your hoof, before you clamber up out. As it touches you, as the water splashes you, you feel a strange sort of wooziness at the back of your head. You're not really sure why. But you look down and you see the creature is slain. It is already beginning to crumble into just shards of glass and crystal. The Vera, the gnome, pulls down her face mask. Ah, shite.
Go to the pub, they said. Nice quiet drink. It'll be nice,
Why
quite
can't-
relaxing after the revolution.
Why
It'll be
can't we ever
fine.
just go to the pub? I've had enough at this
That
point.
definitely
to be honest.
wasn't gnomish brandy back there, was it?
Oh,
Was it?
Was it?
I had milk.
I didn't order gnomish brandy.
Did
I ordered a big whiskey. I didn't even get one.
Oh, Jeffrey's with us, right?
Jeffrey is within your
Good.
pack?
I think we should blame Vera because she was here last time something like this happened.
All right,
Vera folds her arms. I'll have you know that I was in the middle of a hunt to stop it getting through into your world when the
Well, we
Never
did
mind.
that. We did that.
Where
Corzin
did the pub go?
Although, yeah,
Corzin and Celestia, the pair of you only can see flittering around Vera's shoulders her companion's spirit, a tiny heliotrope dragon, but instead of dragon wings, it has dragonfly wings.
Oh,
Flitters and settles on your
adorable.
shoulder. Look,
want one.
we should. All right, we should focus on getting the three of you back to your world. Where were you?
The
Alison's.
pub. The Cock King.
Okay,
Crowned chicken one.
Alice-
That one.
The cock in the crown.
That's the one.
Right.
Yes, he's got it.
Yeah.
Not the cock ring. Fine. I can work on. I can work on that. I think that's actually a cockfighting pet. But I can get you to the. Fine. I can get you to back to Alisont. Hopefully.
How long is it going to take? I know time. Are we in the dream fold? Is that what's
Yes,
happened?
we're in the dream fold.
Oh, where's my finger bone clock?
The dream fold. That strange place where the place where dreams literally happen. Yeah.
I'm gonna get the finger bones out.
Yes,
that
you
make
pull out
see if they make
three
a clock.
unnervingly long, literal finger bones that you harvested from the finger woods, and drop them on the ground. They form the appearance of a clock, pointing to about 2 o'clock but the one hand is already turning slowly.
Oh, it's fast
Vera pulls out a pocket watch, and you can see it has numbers from 1 to 13.
Oh, that's much more sensible.
You could have just said you had a watch.
I didn't need to carry these
Wait.
bones around for like 6 months.
You've been here before.
No.
Yes.
It's a long story.
Yes, multiple
Shite.
times. Once physically, some other ways.
Who told you?
No one.
Was it my cousin?
No.
We
Yes.
guessed.
Yes.
He didn't actually tell us anything. to
Not
be
until
fair.
we were there, no.
Right, you'd have had to get around the guesh somehow.
Yeah.
Fine, I guess if you know, then I can talk to you about it.
Yes.
All right, look, we've got until... Okay, she holds up the watch. We've got about 11 hours left, and quickly dwindling until dawn. I need to get you there before the clock strikes 13, otherwise you won't be able to get back into there until a whole other day passes, and trust me, you do not want that to happen.
Okay.
The most reliable place to get a portal back to... Is it Alisont? We'll
Yeah.
need to get you to the
Yes.
river.
Well, quite frankly, anywhere on our plane would be nice.
I'll see if I can get you somewhere close. You don't want to end up in Fernon.
That'd be really, really inconvenient.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get you through this forest as quickly as we can, and we'll see what we can do. Did any of you get splashed with the water?
Did any of us? I
Yep.
did, didn't
Two
I?
of you
Yep.
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
you know,
Is that a problem?
Little bit.
Okay, so 3 things then. First of all, there's no stable door back to where you want to go. Not like somewhere like fucking Jimothy. But I
say.
might be able to find you an unstable one that might be open for a handful of seconds. But we'll need to get there
Right.
before it happens. Now, the second problem is if you've been splashed by the river water carries with it the leafy touch.
What?
And if you're hit by it, there's a chance you'll lose there's a certainty you'll lose some of your memory. If it's only been a little, you'll probably lose maybe a few hours.
That's alright, I'm missing so many years anyway. It's really not going to make
just
a difference.
Honestly, I'd really rather not remember that tentacle thing with
Well-
the eyes and the mouth.
Good
I'm
news.
already
Truthfully.
missing a good half my life, so...
Well, this far from the river, the amount of the water here is very dilute, so you probably don't stand much at risk. When we get to the river, it's much stronger. Don't fall in the fecking river. Bad things will happen.
Right.
Right. No one
Right.
falling in the river.
The good
Got
news
it.
is we should be able to get to the river. You see there? She points to the water. It's fairly clear, but it's got a slight rainbowish sheen to it. If we follow the stream, it'll lead us to the river. So if we're ever in doubt about where to go, we need to
Follow
follow
the river.
Yeah,
So
it's
this
just
is-
like sailing. If you fall in the water, you got something wrong.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Come along then. Let's make... we don't have much time.
Can't believe you're going to be the captain of a fucking ship soon. Did you just hear yourself? Don't fall in the water. Oh, really?
It's
It's
good
a very, very
advice.
sensible thing.
The music has died down, but it still continues to play gently, coming from the trees themselves, out of the purple glass shards. And as you make your way through, the time moving quickly on the clock, through these pastel blue-green trees and the purple glass leaves, every time you crunch the shards beneath your feet, a little bit more of the music plays.
Does it have to insist on being so ominous like that?
I feel like I should like this, like music's my thing, but I'm just a bit weirded out, to be honest.
If things get cheerful, trust me, this might be better.
Oh, is it another Beware the Smiling Faces situation?
Yes.
That was horrifying.
Wait, how do you know about that?
Never mind.
Too
Right, you've
long.
been here before. So, as you make through, there is the music, and after a while, it does start to acquire something of a more cheerful, celebratory tone.
No.
I would like each of you to make a wisdom save, please.
Am I still drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I drunk enough that this
No.
affects me? Okay.
That's cocked. Hang on. Oh, bloody hell. Hello.
9.
9.
6.
4.
Each of you find yourself just unwittingly dancing along. You, in fact, all of you, let's find
You
out
know
Vera
what? I
as
like
well.
this music. I've changed my mind.
This is great. Let's stay
Even
here.
Vera is caught by the dancing fever as you waste
Jeffrey is dancing.
6 of your 11 hours slowed down.
6 hours.
Time passes quite quickly in the Dreamfold and
Regent,
in
damn
strange
it.
ways. But yeah, as you try, you have to make you manage to keep a forward motion, but yeah, you just can't stop dancing.
I think maybe we should stay here.
Every now and
Yeah,
again,
let's just live here.
every now and again, one of you will have a moment of lucidity and pull the others forwards before being caught in this
Oh, no,
merry
it's awful,
jig
it's
yourself.
It's
Oh,
not
no,
awful,
it's
it's fun. Come back and dance.
Okay.
Hooray!
Eventually, you dance along to a tree with set into its bark a door. Pulling the door open, you step through into a vastly and suddenly different environment. As the dancing fever suddenly fades the moment you emerge,
Oh, that was really weird,
was
wasn't
awful.
it?
you step
was
out
worse
of
than the
the
tea.
door into a wide street beneath a sky shot through with purple, pink, and gold sunset, but with no sun. Time has passed. A charivari of scents assaults your nostrils. Charcoal, incense, cinnamon, saffron, spices, herbs you don't recognize, even a smell that you couldn't describe as anything other than the scent of laughter. Brightly coloured market stalls pack the edges of the street, below high buildings of unfamiliar design. The street itself is thronged by people of all colours, shapes and sizes, very literally in some cases. A man with a magpie's head is selling hot sausages on skewers. A giant pig is selling musical instruments. The pair of them are glaring at each other. There is clearly some sort of feud going on here that you do not have time to investigate.
I think we should stay and investigate.
How much time do you want to lose?
No.
There are a number of gnomes in the crowd as well, wearing brightly coloured clothes, often with similar tattoos to Vera. A couple of them give her a nod as you're moving through the marketplace, and they all have similarly outlandish hairstyles. One of them, the oldest looking one, Vera has purple eyes, but this one's eyes glow like wheels of violet fire for irises. They have been here a long time. Looking around, though, there's no sign of the water.
Is this, I was in a market once before when
This
we were
is
here.
the
Is it
same
one?
bazaar.
Don't look at any stalls. We'll be here for hours. I lost like 4 hours.
Oh, all right.
Just don't look at anything.
Okay.
You'll get taken in. It's like the dancing, but with markets.
I'm gonna
Oh,
hold
even worse.
Jeffrey close and don't
As
let him
you-
touch anything.
Jeffrey's like
Jeffrey,
already
no.
reaching, trying to
No.
steal things.
No.
No, stay away from
Have
the
to,
crochet.
have to
Jeffrey,
keep
no.
back. First of all, I would like each of you to roll a wisdom save, please.
Am I still drunk?
You're still drunk, but
not good
because
at
you have
this.
been through this before, Celestia, it cancels out your disadvantage.
Ooh, 13.
Okay.
Not terrible for me.
Natural damn 20.
Okay. The three of you managed to avoid getting distracted by the many unique things on sale. But Celestia, there is one point though where you do see one thing. Amongst very strange and outlandish outfits, you see a mannequin upon which is a dress made of woven fire.
Super cool.
And it's cool, but there's also just like a little bit of an echo for you. But natural 20, you pull away from it and focus elsewhere, but the thought remains in your mind. It's hauntingly familiar.
Yeah, she kind of shakes her head and like gets a bit weird for a minute and then keeps walking.
No sign of the water yet, though. Anyone who wants to can make a perception or investigation check.
Investigation.
Investigation.
I'm rubbish at perception.
Ooh, 17. I'm not good at either of the things, so that's very
21,
good.
actually.
You make excellent time with the pair. Corzin, you're looking around trying to see like another bit of river. You don't, but Celestia and Scamp, both of you spot at the same time, coming out of a gutter pipe leading down one of the buildings, out from which faintly rainbow-coloured water is flowing all across the street and into a manhole.
We have to go down.
Seems to be the case, aye?
Why does Dreamland need sewers? Never mind.
I don't like down.
No. Also, like, not touching the water is going to be much harder.
Really hard. Ooh,
Seems to be coming from the sides of down the side of it, but yeah, you'll need to be careful.
fine. It's not normal underground. It's dream underground. Right. Let's
Yeah,
go.
it's fine, it's fine.
Boom.
With a little bit of effort, you pull open the manhole cover, and you can see there's darkness beyond and a metal ladder. There is water running down a little bit down the very centre of the metal ladder, so I will ask a dex check from each of you, or actually either dex or athletics, potentially, if it's better.
Can I cast fly on the three of us?
Yes, you can.
So we can just sort of
You
float down?
Okay, you cast fly. The three of you float down. Vera slides down expertly after you, without touching the
Spell
sides.
slots. I'm sure we won't need them. It'll be fine.
It's fine. It's fine. As you hit the bottom, you find yourselves in a strange, cavernous chamber. Huge and dark. It seems to be supported in the distance by pale, white columns against dim, reddish walls. There's no light except for the dim amount coming through the manhole cover. So, Corzin, you are kind of having to, unless you get a light source, you're going to have to sort of blind man's buff it a bit. The water flows down off the ladder onto the floor of the chamber and along a shallow, natural divot onto some unseen destination beyond.
Is a torch going to be out of the question in here?
I could light it.
I mean, you could just hold on to my tail and I'll lead you if you like.
I don't know.
I appreciate the offer, but I prefer
gonna-
to see where I'm going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna strum 4 strings on my guitar, just do 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 do, and as I do that, 4 purple dancing lights come out
Ooh, that's better.
and light the chamber with purple light for you.
Oh, so
Better?
Okay. As you, it is now much more illuminated. You are able to proceed onwards. There seems to be very little down here except the path ahead, and even the distance ahead is beyond your dark vision.
Celestia gets twitchy.
How would you like to proceed?
Cautiously.
Flying.
You're flying. Okay.
Flying and carefully.
You are flying
Actually
down.
flying so we don't touch the walls and it's not
Yeah.
water.
Fair enough.
And we don't make noise as much.
Give me a perception check. Anyone who wants to.
Yes, please.
4.
Dirty 20.
It's like 8.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Corzin, you hear a distant.
What's that?
Was what?
What, did you hear something?
Yeah.
Out
Shit,
of
is
the
there things in
walls.
here? I hate things.
Like footsteps.
Roll a medicine check.
Okay.
Oh.
Medicine?
Oh.
All of us?
You're the one trained in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay, that is a... Oh, 23.
Okay, 23. Yeah, it is studying around. Yeah, that's definitely a heartbeat.
Oh.
From something giant.
Gosh.
And looking down at the divot below, that's a tongue. That's a giant tongue that the water is flowing down. And you are in not so much the belly as the mouth of some giant beast.
You hear that story about the guy that got trapped in a whale?
What on earth about that are you about to say?
Look down.
Oh, fuck.
Which way does the tongue go?
It
Are we
goes,
going
you are
deeper
going
into-
deeper towards the back of the tongue.
Oh, that seems fine.
Oh, this is disgusting
Vera,
as well as
what the
horrifying.
hell?
Okay.
Yeah, Vera, what the fuck?
Vera shrugs.
What kind of demented mind made this place?
Yeah, what is wrong with
It's
the
the
person who
it's
came
part
up
of the
with this?
collective consciousness of all dreamers.
Well, I hate all of them.
Yeah. Agreed. I've had quite enough of this.
Right, we can
Well,
move
you're
fast.
flying, however,
Let's do
so
that.
We
you
can
do
carry
not.
Vera
Yeah,
between us as
you're-
well.
Yeah, you carry Vera between you. You're flying, so you do not. You do not tickle the tongue in any way. You do not trigger a swallowing reflex, and you are able to make your way smoothly, quickly, and safely to the end. where
Safely?
you-
Is
the
there
end.
Safely
a
enough.
That word, I'm not sure you know what it
do you mean?
means.
The
Actually,
end.
now, sorry. Yes, there is a uvula. Actually, now that you mention it, and as you approach, it is swinging gently. I would like a dexterity check from each of you
Why
to
do I do this
fly
to myself?
past the
Why?
uvula without tickling it.
I'm sorry I keep
16.
asking, but am I still drunk? Time is weird.
Yes,
here. Okay,
yes,
cool.
you are still drunk.
Yeah, no.
You're also feeling a bit woozy from the memory effects as well.
I
Dex,
feel like
that's 17.
my dex is really bad, so I feel like she kind of like zigzags a bit. She gets a bit weird. So yeah, that's a 9.
I'm gonna add a d4 because I feel like over a 10 would be nice. Add 2, so 11.
Okay,
Burning up
because of
those
that,
sorcery points.
you all managed to avoid hitting the uvula
Thank you.
and triggering a swallowing reflex until you reach the end, where flowing into it, you can see there is what can only be described as a large muscular sphincter, currently closed,
There are many kinds of sphincter, it's not that kind of
through which the water is flowing, just through a tiny gap.
Are we in a bum hole?
No, we're
We're
in a
bum
throat.
hole.
It's a
Wrong
throat.
end.
This looks like a bum hole.
Wrong
like
end.
Drunken
You have one in
does.
You
Okay.
feeling with your hands.
Fine.
No, we're not feeling the sphincter with that.
Bum hole.
How do you want to open the sphincter? How would you like to open the giant dream sphincter?
All right.
Answers on a postcard.
Gently.
Yeah, please do tweet us. How would you open the giant?
Yeah. How would you open the sphincter? Gently is the only word that is coming to mind.
Okay, give me a
and I need a better
one person. Give me a dexterity or sleight of hand check to gently pull apart the
I'm
sphincter.
drunk. I'm
Don't
going for
know.
it. Yeah.
Dex.
Corzin, you do it.
Okay. Yep. I'm gonna tell Molly. Tell Molly what you're doing.
Your
13.
wife's gonna be upset.
13.
Yeah, your wife's gonna be really
You
annoyed.
carefully pull aside the slightly slimy, muscular opening, and it opens like a sphincter in a perfectly open manner.
Yeah, you
And
laugh. I had to give Captain Brandy a medical.
Ow! I didn't need
And
to know
the
that.
four of you slip through the sphincter, and all of you suddenly tumble and fly out of a tumble-down stone archway on a rolling plain of gently shifting purple-orange grass. Above, the sky seems caught on the cusp of dawn, with darkness above and a blue bloom at the edge of every horizon, as if the sun were about to rise in every direction. Strange lights flicker across the sky in every colour, like a vast, striating aurora borealis, casting illumination over the plains. Bisecting the plain is a wide river of brilliant liquid rainbow, bright colours of every hue clashing and swirling and roiling as the waters flow on to some distant location. Along the very edges of the river, a thick carpet grows of multicoloured flowers with wispy, iridescent threads, not unlike cotton balls, and not far from them, a multitude of portals open and close in the air. Some rings of multicoloured fire, others like fractured glass in reality, some seeming to split open like freshly cut wounds before healing themselves.
Is that what we're looking for, Vera?
It is, but we've got to wait for one that'll come to Alison. I can sense it when it does, and I'll tell you. Just keep an eye out for. She gestures down to the flowers. Just keep ready about the dream flax.
What do they do?
Just don't get agitated. The dream flax responds to dreams, to nightmares, to anything that anyone's been recently feeling strongly.
Oh dear.
I mean, I'm immediately agitated, and I can't
Yeah.
pretend otherwise.
As you say this, Celestia, around it, you're flying, but below you, some of the flowers start turning their petals towards you, the little cotton balls of threads, wisping and shifting.
Why are they looking at me?
I think you've got their attention.
Why?
Because you're agitated.
Of course I'm agitated.
flick
There's
again.
fucking
Oh,
flowers
no,
looking at me.
I'm calm.
As the
peaceful.
agitation grows and grows, suddenly the
Why aren't you-
fibers of the balls unwind themselves from a whole patch of dream flax and spin themselves together, forming up into a humanoid shape, into a suddenly familiar humanoid shape, as they combine in black and white silk, an image of a tall drow matriarch, a cleric with the symbol of Utu at her chest, the very image of the now deceased intercessor Sovrina, who looks up to you. It's time for your training to begin.
No, I already told you to go fuck yourself.
Roll initiative.
Oh! I don't know what to roll. This one. Oh, not that one.
13.
Also 13.
12.
13, 13, 12.
Corzin's definitely first.
Dex has
so,
definitely
yeah.
got. Your
Yeah.
Dex is definitely higher than my Dex.
12 was Celestia, right? Yep, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. The Dreamflax Nightmare acts first
Oh, good.
as it reaches up, and as it does so, it extends its hands and threads of silk shoot out of its wrists, kind of like a Nightmare Spider-Man, and reach up to and snare Celestia. First attack is
Celestia visibly freezes.
first attack is a 13, but the second one is a 23.
Oh.
As the threads reach up and grab hold of you, you take 11 points of slashing damage
God, why
and
did I do a healing spell on myself?
and are pulled down towards the image of the intercessor. So you're now within 5 feet of her. That is all she can do this round. That makes it Corzin's go.
Alright, Corzin is immediately going to cast Hunter's Mark again. Can he get within melee?
You can fly down to melee easily. Yes.
Okay.
So, flying up close to this woven image of a woman you remember killing, but then it's not the first time you've faced someone here that you've killed before.
Sure.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
I would like to cut her to ribbons.
Excellent. Make your attacks.
Okay, the first one is a 19.
Attack. It hits. Roll damage.
That's 10 slashing damage and a further 1 with the Hunter's Mark.
You did not. Did you declare that you put Hunter's Mark as a bonus? You did.
Yeah.
Cool. I just lost it. Got it. Cool.
And the second one. That's dirty 20. Actually, no, it's 19.
Cool. Hits either way.
Okay, that's 7 slashing damage.
Okay.
A further 2 Hunter's Mark.
Okay, as you slash down, doing 20 points of damage total, you actually you watch as these threads sever from the Dreamflax flowers, wrapping up into the image that is being formed. It's like rather than cutting, like you do damage to the form, but it heals up. But instead, it loses connection to the flowers below. So it seems that just by attacking this, you're harvesting the Dreamflax.
Ooh.
The creature, however, is going to legendary action slash its hand at you for that's a 16.
16 does not hit me.
And as the threads slash out, you pull yourself out of the way before they can connect. Okay, that is time for Scamp.
How big is this
Oh,
figure?
it's the size of Matriarch Sabrina, so medium-sized
Okay.
creature.
And it's close to these flax plants?
Yes.
Cool. How many plants and not my friends, can I get in a 20-foot radius?
Quite a lot.
Then I will cast Fireball.
Okay.
It's in the name of the show, so
There
I
had to
might
be
as
one,
well.
didn't there?
There has to be one.
Roll damage.
And also, plants, it feels sensible-ish. 5, 11, 17, 21, 25 points of fire damage.
As the ball, fire ball emerges from your hand, the tiny sphere, you hear Vera call, "No, wait!" And as it strikes the ground and blossoms, the whole Sabrina catches fire. She bursts into flames. The flowers burst into flames, and then the flames melt into the fabric. As suddenly the whole, instead of being on fire, the image of Intercessor Sabrina changes into a creature woven of threads of fire.
Okay, that was maybe a bad idea.
She has taken no damage
Oh, good.
and is now on fire.
Do I take fire
no.
damage for being near her?
Not yet.
Yet.
Not yet. Oh, listen to him.
Oh dear. I don't
Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna quicken a frostbite,
Go for it.
which as a cantrip is not gonna do much, but let's try and undo some
Yeah.
damage. So it's a con save,
Okay, con save.
DC 17.
Does not make it. So as you cast the spell, several of the flaming threads go dark and splinter, separating off from the flowers that are supporting it.
5 cold damage.
Cool.
And disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay, which it immediately takes against you.
Oh, good.
So legendary, that is going to be 19.
Yeah.
Which sorry, no, disadvantage. No, it misses. I forgot to roll disadvantage.
Really?
It's only a 12.
Yeah, that's my armor class.
Does not miss.
I did
Then.
not cast mage armor.
You did not cast mage armor. You take 8 points of fire damage. So
I'm
halved
resistant to that.
half to 4 because you are a tiefling. However, you are now also on fire, and will take 1d10 fire damage at the start of your turn until someone takes an action to douse the fire.
Fine, I'll go in the river and put it out.
Terribly bad idea there.
Wow.
Celestia, you are ensnared by you're not restrained, but you've been brought next to a flaming, living flame.
Sorry.
It's some sort of what puppet, essentially, cloth puppet
Jeffrey!
of. Sabrina. Jeffrey can act though if you want
Yeah!
beforehand. Yes. What does Jeffrey do?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey has one attack, I believe, that Jeffrey can do.
Yeah, am I close enough though?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Sure, yeah, it's actually.
I'll say that you are.
Then Jeffrey will take a swipe at the thing with Jeffrey's magic sword. It's not a magic sword, it's a pretty sword.
Cool.
I can't remember his modifier. I may have left the sheet at home.
Do it as a
Oh, it's a natural 20 anyway!
Doesn't matter. Roll 1d6 plus 3, I think.
It's a 6!
Okay, Jeffrey
So
does
that's
9 points damage.
Not, no,
As he-
that was a natural 20, that's 12, that's 15
15 points of damage as Jeffrey leaps down and slashes into the base of Intercessor Sabrina's dress, through the fire, cutting off the fire threads, causing them to snap up into the form. There are now less and less, maybe about half as many threads on the ground, attaching this form to the ground as there once were. Celestia.
Okay. Celestia is like visibly freaking out. Like there is visible shaking happening. It's not looking good. She kind of like takes a breath in. She just goes, I already killed you once. One more fucking time, Sabrina. Fuck you. And I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers at level 5 because fuck it. So yeah, wisdom save from...
What's your DC?
It is an
17.
17? Oh, 17. That's the one.
Does not make it.
Good. Okay, I'm going to roll some dice and there's going to be some maths. So bear with me. 10, 11, 15, 20, 22, 24 damage.
24.
Nice.
And yeah, she has to run away from me as well.
Yep, she immediately pulls backwards.
Yeah, you fucking run.
She doesn't, her legs don't move. It's like the threads transfer to other flowers and she just hovers backwards in that sort of nightmare mode style.
Do I get an opportunity?
Yes you do. Make it.
It's forced movement.
Oh, it's forced movement. You don't.
Okay, no, fair.
No, you don't.
I just did a
Thank you for
concentration
reminding me.
check. I remembered I haven't been concentrating on flying. I'm good. We're
You're
not
still
falling.
flying. Good. None of you are directly over the river at this point. However,
I have one more thing I'd like to do on my
yes.
turn. I'm now free, aren't I?
yes.
I kick my heel up into my xylophone. The rainbow spirit gives a little poof healing word for me at level 3, please.
Okay.
I will do that quietly to myself with the maths. Please carry on.
Okay, she's going to take her last legendary action to sweep the flaming threads from her hand into the waters of the river, which begin to burn with a strangely rainbowish flame and strike at you, Corzin.
Why have the
Sending a
rainbows turned on us?
Sending
So
a
sad.
telescopic attack. That is a 17.
17 just hits.
Okay, you proceed to take. You take 15 points of fire damage. You are on fire, and importantly, you have now been touched by the river water. Just a smattering, but just a smattering. But you have. So you now are all
Just enough to fill the plot hole.
Just enough to fill the plot holes. Okay, that is the end of Celestia's turn. Vera is going to draw an arrow, and as she draws it back, it fills with the tip. It turns to crystal as she marks a target. That is a natural motherfucking 20.
Yes! Go, Vera!
Okay, so she proceeds to do so, but she gets an extra one on that. Okay, 5, 10, 15 force damage because she rolled really low on a crit. That's really low. Oh well. So she does launch fire a second shot after that, but that one goes wide, splashes into the river, and you briefly see a moment where the arrow rears its head up, forms a tiny head and mouth, screams, and then descends into the river, never seen again.
Why?
Welcome to the Dreamfold.
That was horrifying.
Top of the round. The nightmare, the Dreamflax nightmare out. Celestia, you are in the air, on the ground? Whereabouts are you? In the air. Yeah, so you've pulled away a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
The creature, Severina's head, just sinks into her clothing. Like it just melds into it. The hands meld in. The clothing changes
It's like in
shape
the Twits.
as if it's unto almost a replica of your own, and it just shoots forwards towards you, opening up. That is an 18 to hit you.
Oh yeah, that hits.
As the clothes,
Hi, Bard.
as the as the clothes split open and bind around you, the whole form clings to you. You are grappled, and you also take 7 points of fire damage.
Ooh.
But you are also psychologically encased in your own flaming clothing.
Oh, good. We've not been here before.
Yeah, you can feel sections of your clothes underneath beginning to burn and crisp away, just a little bit. But as you are wrapped,
I start screaming.
It is your living nightmare.
Yeah, I
returning to you.
start screaming. Like.
That is the end of its turn, Corzin.
Do something a little bit unorthodox. I am going to invoke my unseen stalker boon.
Oh, God. We don't know what that does.
Okay.
If you haven't been here before, we genuinely have no idea what this is.
You invoked
Dreamfold.
it. You invoked it in the Dreamfold. That has different effects.
Oh no.
All of you suddenly feel your heads shift. Your attention turns to somewhere else. It's like you're suddenly attracted to looking at the river or to seeing. I'll say Celestia, you can't take your eyes off the river. Corzin, you instinctively look towards the archway. Scamp, you lock eyes with Jeffrey, and you hear just a wrenching, rending sound. And when you look back, dozens of the threads have been gone, and there are just claw marks in the earth.
How encased am I still looking?
It's broken. It's still around you, but you're able to kind of move freely, dragging the few remaining threads with you. So you're not restrained, but it's still around you, still grappling you.
Cool.
It has.
Still screaming.
Yeah.
incidentally.
So the unseen. Well, you've lost the unseen stalker boon, but the unseen stalker has come to your aid, and you have never seen it.
Hence the name.
Yes. I think that's your action.
Yes.
Scamp.
Okay, I'm going to cast Command, your favourite. And just go, drop her! And see
Okay,
if
wisdom save?
Yeah, wisdom save, I think. Yeah.
That is, that is technically a success. So.
How close is it? Can I?
Sorry, the success of you. She
the-
fails. The creature fails. So
Lovely.
it
It does it on.
Yeah,
their
the
turn.
threads, they don't completely leave you because you're flying, but they puff out, no longer encasing you. So it's like you've got like an expanded version of your clothes on fire around your clothes, but not
Okay.
actually like grappling close to you.
And I will quicken another frostbite for a bonus action.
Go
So
for it.
another con save.
Con save.
Still screaming.
Hits.
Lovely. 8 cold damage.
Okay, nice. So that becomes... Yep, got it. Having done that,
Just to remind you, tides are active.
tides are active, and actually I think it's time for it. Roll D100.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have reminded you. I wanted to, but I still regret it. That is 89. So
As
well,
you do this, suddenly your whole form just blotches and you vanish from view.
Scamp?
You are also completely inaudible.
What?
You cannot be seen, you cannot be heard. It looks as if Scamp doesn't even seem able to respond.
Uh-oh.
Scamp!
Wait, is Jeffrey still visible? Jeffrey sat on my shoulder.
Instead, you can just see a flying Jeffrey wielding his knife.
Jeffrey's going to attack.
Okay, go for it.
Does Jeffrey get advantage because I'm there?
I think that's the rule. We haven't got the stats in front of us.
Jeffrey's
Yeah.
a rogue.
Yeah,
basically
Jeffrey
right.
is the rogue
That
of
was
this
a-
party.
So natural 18.
Cool, roll
so
the d6.
4 plus whatever.
Slashes through just a little bit more damage, cutting through the remaining threads. That brings us to Celestia.
Oh, where am I up to? Oh god. I think because it
There are
started getting away from me.
There's like five or six threads left anchoring this.
Yeah,
to
I
the
think I
ground.
just reflexively bring the guitar around to the front, because to try and get it away from me, I just do a big like electric guitar noise. The Rainbow Spirit bursts out, and I'm gonna do a 3rd level Thunder Wave.
Okay. Con save, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, con save.
Okay, roll damage.
Okay. So many d8s are what I need. No dice are where I need them to be.
Do you want some D8s?
I've got them.
I have so
I've got
many.
enough. Okay, so that is 12, 17, 23. 23 damage.
With a like a detonation of rainbow energy out from you, this copy of your clothing, woven in scarlet and orange flame, seems to explode outwards. The last few threads snap up, joining it, before it coalesces, before the flames turn from red to violet to deep purple, and they gently settle once more around you, no longer hot to you, cool, calming, a perfect copy of your clothing, before suddenly unspooling into a long series of threads. You watch as Vera down below quickly holds up just what seems to be just a stick as the threads wind themselves around it, bobbin-like. The harvested violet dream flecks, slightly
Yes.
glistening with different colours, and she snaps it shut in a little silver egg. As that happens, though, below you, directly below you, you watch as the earth slices open. You can see some sort of room or chamber beyond. It's kind of hard to tell. And she goes, "There! Get through! There! Now!"
Okay.
As you go past, she shoves the silver egg down into your pack, Celestia, where it kind of falls through to the very bottom.
Next to Elizabeth's package.
Completely forgotten about for now. And the three of you all peel through the portal, one after another, and the last thing you see is looking back at it, looking downwards as you fly outwards horizontally. So weirdly, looking downwards, the whole thing angled at 90 degrees, you see Vera sort of give you a kind of like a chest, arm to the fist to the chest, and then raised hand of farewell as the portal to the Dreamfold seals shut. The three of you suddenly find yourselves stumbling for a moment in a richly appointed yet strangely familiar apartment. Your mind a little foggy, a little uncertain. The three of you kind of stumble backwards. The spell coming to its end as you all sit down on the bed.
Am I still invisible?
Scamp. Yeah, you see a depression where Scamp should be, and Scamp emerges from into visibility just as they backwards onto the bed, and all three of you just slump backwards. Minds hazy, uncertain. A moment of discontinuity before blinking. Corzin, you wake up with a splitting headache. The last thing you remember was someone in a bar clocking you right in the temple after Celestia insulted them.
My head feels like there's a troll living in it.
You look up, you're back in, you're in a comfortable, safe and familiar environment. You seem to have gotten back to the apartments that are reserved for you in the courts of justice in Alison. So this is like, you must have made it home, but your head hurts. You see the others kind of coming to consciousness at the same time.
Oh, I've got a bastard behind the eyes.
What did you do?
I think I hit Did I hit a minstrel? I think I hit a minstrel. Why did I do that?
Alright,
Oh.
don't get used to this, but I can't be dealing with this. I cast lesser restoration on you, lesser restoration on you, and lesser restoration on myself.
For all of you, the apparent hangover clears up a little bit. It's just like you've just had the perfect shot of coffee.
Wow, that feels amazing.
Don't get used to it.
You are wonderful.
You look down, this must have been one hell of a bar fight. There are bits of Celestia's clothes which are like a little bit burned and singed. Like
Did
it
I
looks
do
like
that?
you kind of look.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do feel, Scamp. You do have that strange after effect weirdness of like a recently discharged wild magic surge. Jeffrey is kind of going.
Jeffrey remembers everything.
Is gesticulating wildly, pointing to Celestia's pack.
Shame that grumpy woman who can talk to animals isn't here. That'd be
Yeah.
useful. What is it? What are you?
Never mind. We'll...
Jeffrey gets into your pack and
Oh,
proceeds
Yes,
to
I know
leave
you
your-
want. I know you want to poo in there. Just get on
Jeffrey,
with it. I'll clean it up
Pull
later.
Jeffrey out, put him
Come on.
into your pack instead.
It's too early, Jeffrey. It's too early.
Are you having a good shit in there? Are you? Yeah. Good for you. I hate him.
Jeffrey
You love him, really.
Hate
Jeffrey
him.
proceeds to shit all over
Tiny weird person.
all over a little silver egg, concealing a little package,
Oh no.
and just it hardens a little, and just because of that, you don't discover it for quite some time.
Because it's covered in solid monkey shit.
Maybe
Wow.
around, like it gets covered by some other stuff, and then later, maybe around, I don't know, episode 91, something like that.
Probably, yeah.
You might find it again. But for now, at least, as you let yourselves slumber back again, because weirdly after that night you feel exhausted, you descend back to sleep. Sweet dreams to follow. So thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s. And you'll see I've given you the things in front,
Yeah.
so hopefully you can read my handwriting, because I didn't tell you what these were. We'll share a drink after the day.
A shot to punch a poor haze.
When nightmares show their ugly face.
We'll put them all back in their place.
So
gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Thank you
you for
all
coming.
very much for coming.
Have a lovely podcon. Thank you all so much for your
Okay.
time.
What is wrong with you?
The giant sphincter.
Yes.
Good lord.